So my name is Andy Donnachie. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the CPD Group. So the CPD Group, we are a CPD accreditation organisation. So we provide accreditation services to CPD providers all over the world for everything from their, the written content that they put out that has educational value through to their training courses, e-learning courses, and events such as this today. So we're actually accrediting the entire conference here today with all the educational value that's delivered on the stages here. So please do pop over to our stand, which is just there, C270, and you'll be able to scan the QR code and get your certificate for your attendance here today for your CPD points. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it's the end of the day and everybody's got places to be, but it's really kind of you to come and listen to me talking about this today. So what I wanted to do was talk about CPD accreditation, okay, surprisingly, because we're a CPD accreditation organisation. So what it actually is, okay, and what it actually really should be. So, one of the things that we find, or I find especially in the conversations that I'm having with people, it's even been the case here today, okay, is CPD accreditation is a term that is widely used, but it is poorly understood by people. People aren't 100% sure what it actually is, okay, so they hear the term all the time, they're told that they need it, but what actually is it, okay, so there is a bit of a poor understanding. So I want to kind of really open those curtains today and we'll have a look at what that should be, all right? So this lack of understanding from people, it leads to inconsistent standards with delivery, with CPD accreditation services. Because if you don't know what it is, it's difficult to challenge your CPD accreditation partner and ask them what it is that they're accrediting your courses against. Okay, so without having that knowledge of what CPD accreditation is, it is very difficult for you to make the right decision when choosing your accreditation partner. Okay, the overuse of the term fatigue of CPD accreditation, okay, because it's bounced around a lot. We hear it a lot in industry, we hear it a lot in the training world, but it can really easily lose its value when it's been attached to really poor content. I mean, if anyone here has ever been in a training course, which was CPD accredited, okay, and you've walked out thinking, I didn't learn a thing, what was that all about? It really devalues the terminology of CPD accreditation and what that is actually supposed to mean for that training course. Okay, so let's have a look at what CPD accreditation should be. So we're all familiar, I imagine, with CPD as continuing professional development, okay? So training that is to build upon your foundation qualifications, your foundation learning, and to help you progress in your career and keep you up to date with everything that's happening in your industry, okay? CPD accreditation is an independent verification of your learning, of the training that you're delivering. It gives third-party validation of what you're delivering, meets industry standards, meets all the requirements that it needs to, and it is compliant with a particular industry that you're serving with your training. Okay, so that's what we're here to facilitate. We provide that CPD accreditation service, working with training providers, as I say, all over the globe, helping them to really build their courses to be the best they possibly can be, and offering them an accreditation mark to offer that confidence to their clients moving forward. So these are the core elements that CPD accreditation should be focused upon, okay? Clear learning outcomes. When we're verifying somebody's course and reviewing it, we are looking very clearly to see what those learning outcomes are. What are you trying to achieve? What are learners going to be taking away from the experience of coming to your training session? We're also looking at the educational value, okay? Is there enough in there to actually be a quality learning experience for your clients? Okay, is the educational factor specific to the industry it's going into, the role it's actually being delivered to? Okay, is that educational value solid? Is it grounded? Is it actually of value? Relevance to the professional industry and practice. We have a lot of training courses that come to us that are specifically targeted at particular roles within different industries. Okay, so it's really important that those courses meet the needs of those individuals that are being taught. They are, professionals looking to progress in their career, moving on to the next stage, potentially looking for a promotion. So they need to be taught what is relevant to them and not just a very, very generic and general kind of overview of a particular subject. It needs to be specific. It needs to be targeted at the industry. What are the industry requirements? What does the industry need from the professionals within its industry? Okay, so is the course actually delivering that? And how do you assess and reflect upon those learning outcomes? How do you assess that people have achieved that knowledge that you're imparting with them? Okay, so these are the core elements that we're looking at when we are providing accreditation services. It's really important that all four of these things are in every single review process for every single course that has been reviewed for accreditation. Okay, so having that kind of rigorous process behind it and going through every single course in the same manner gives confidence to the learners, gives confidence to the employers who are potentially funding their staff going onto these courses, and it also, you know, helps regulators and industry bodies and gives them confidence also that the certificates that they're seeing as part of the validation process are of value. They actually hold substance. Okay, so a little statement at the bottom. CPD accreditation is not about what you say your course delivers. It's about what an independent third party proves it delivers on your behalf. Okay, so your accreditation mark should stand up, you should be very proud of it, and say, look, I've been through a rigorous process, all of these things have been assessed, and my course is fit for purpose. So we hear a lot of myths and misconceptions in the world of CPD accreditation. Right, so here's just a few of the highlights that we hear on a very, very regular basis, okay? The CPD is one big company, okay? Everybody just hears the word CPD accreditation and think it's one large company called the CPD. We hear it all the time. There's actually multiple CPD accreditation organizations out there, okay? Quite a few. You'll be surprised how many there are. Okay, number two is that all accreditation bodies are the same. Now, the CPD accreditation industry is an unregulated industry, which means there are no set guidelines for a CPD accreditation company to follow, which means they're all very, very different. They all operate in a very, very different way. Okay, so it's important that you are able to understand what your CPD accreditation partner does, how they operate, what standards they uphold before you even engage their services. Okay, so it's a conversation you must have with your accreditation partner before you engage with them. Okay, which is why we come to events like this, so that we can talk to people exactly what we do, and if we're the accreditation partner for you, then fantastic, let's get on with it. Okay, but if not, then go and have a look around. Go and see what else is out there for you. And you might find that there is another accreditation partner that's more suited to you. I doubt it, but you never know, you never know. Myth number three, okay? CPD accreditation is just a badge for marketing, right? Now, I've heard this one an awful lot, which is unfortunate, to be quite honest. People think that just getting that badge will help me sell my courses, right? Which, in a sense, it does. It is good for your marketing. It is a good tool to support you in promoting your courses to clients. But it's way, way more than that. What it shows is that you've been through a process. You're happy to show people your course and actually take advice on how to make that course the best it could possibly be. Okay, so that is what CPD accreditation is about. It's not just a badge. It really is more than a logo. CPD accredited courses are qualifications. They are certainly not, okay? Now, CPD courses are very, very important to keep people up to date with their knowledge, up to date with their skill set, and up to date with industry practice and different techniques and different laws and legislation that might be happening in their industry. But it certainly isn't a qualification, okay? It's designed to build upon your foundation qualifications, to make sure that your qualifications that you have taken part in remain relevant, okay? So once a qualification is complete, professionals continue with their education through CPD courses to make sure that they are fully up to date in their chosen field of expertise. So they are not qualifications. I'll just put it out there once more, okay? Myth number 5, if I pay a fee, I'm automatically accredited. Now, unfortunately, because of the unregulated nature of the CPD industry, this is prone to happen. Some people believe they've paid their fee to a CPD accreditation company, they've never been asked to produce their courses, they've never been asked to show the accreditation company anything other than write down the titles of the courses they would like to have accredited. And then they receive a logo from the accreditation company saying all of those courses are accredited. Fantastic, well done. There is absolutely no value in that whatsoever, okay? In my view, it's actually quite fraudulent, because it just shouldn't be happening, because there is no service behind that. That is literally selling a logo for people to then mislead the consumer into thinking this course has been validated by somebody when in fact no one's ever looked at it ever. The training provider is the only person that knows what's in that course, and they could be teaching anything. Nobody has validated that information whatsoever. So rubber stamping is the term I like to use for this. It devalues the whole thing, and it certainly discredits CPD accreditation for what it actually is. Okay, so it's really important that people understand, again, I'll repeat it again, that you were able to speak to your accreditation partner, ask them what is going on, what do you do, how do you do it, what is the standards that you're going to hold me to, what framework are you going to measure my courses against, how is this going to work, what is the process, how does the renewal look at the end of the term, okay? So accreditation is earned, it's evidenced, and it's maintained. Accreditation for life, I don't believe in it, the CPD group don't believe in it either. You need to maintain your accreditation for the integrity of it to remain, okay? So we'll have a look a bit further on about that. So what good and meaningful CPD accreditation looks like, okay? The process should be transparent. It should be very clear from the start what process you're going to be going through with your accreditation partner so that you understand exactly what to do and exactly how to prepare to get ready for the accreditation process. The criteria that you're going to be measured against should be very clear. It should be presented to you so that you are again able to prepare and you understand the criteria that you're going to be measured against so that you can start to demonstrate that to your accreditation partner. And the renewal process, as I mentioned earlier, is it going to be automatically renewed? Do I have to do anything at renewal? Is there a revalidation process at renewal? So what does that look like as well? The accreditation process should be consistent. Every course should be assessed against the same criteria to make sure that there is a standardized level of quality to the learning behind the accreditation stamp. Okay, this is really important. It's something that every organization should be able to say that my courses, all with this logo, have been through the exact same rigorous process and they've all been assessed against the same criteria. Courses should be educationally grounded. Okay, so when we receive courses, our accreditation and compliance team have our assessors review the courses against our accredited framework, which we publish on our website for everybody to see before they start working with us. The assessors need to give well-constructed feedback, okay? It needs to be outcome-focused, engaging and effective in promoting real learning, okay? And if that substance isn't there within a training course, the assessors need to offer guidance. If you're not getting that level of support from your accreditation partner, you should be asking why not. Is my course just perfect? Great, I mean, if that's the case, then wonderful. But is there anything I can do to improve what I'm delivering? Okay, because it's really important that organizations like our own are here to support you to become the best you can be. You hear me say that quite a lot today. All right, so it's about not just us going, oh, that's lovely, well done, thanks very much for sending it to us. It's about us actually looking at it and going, wow, right, okay, this is great. But for that particular role that you're going to be delivering this to, or that particular industry that you're going to be serving this to, we recommend that you would put this piece of learning in there because this is exactly what employers are looking for. It's exactly what the National Occupational Standards require for the particular industry. So our assessors will be there to work with you and give you feedback. But our assessors are also there to liaise with you. It's a partnership that we get into. Okay, so our assessors, you are able to talk to them at any point about any feedback that they offer you so that you can understand why they're asking you to do it. You know, it might be that you have an absolutely valid reason for not wanting to add an additional part to your course, which is completely negotiable, but you know, that conversation needs to happen. It needs to be kind of a two-way conversation between you and the assessor to make us understand exactly why you feel your course is ideal the way it is. It should be accountable. Every single accredited course should be subject to revalidation at some point in the accreditation journey. The CPD group, I was at a conference about a year ago, and we bumped into an organization whose accreditation partner accredited his courses in 2006. Since 2006, they've never ever asked to see them ever again. So they've taken it with trust, I assume, that those courses have been maintained and updated over the period of time since 2006. But there's nothing for the accreditation organization to say that is the case. With ourselves, we have a mandatory 3-year review cycle. where every single course that we accredit is pulled back after 3 years, revalidated, reassessed to make sure it is up to date with current legislation, current industry standards, and any other changes that might have happened in that particular subject matter. It should be ethical. Ethical CPD accreditation ensures providers act with integrity, okay? That they deliver honest, learner-centered focused courses that is actually about the development of the individual. It's not just about making a few quid, okay? It's about actually, I'm providing a valuable learning experience here, okay? So CPD accreditation should set the bar, not lower it. So what is the value for training providers in gaining CPD accreditation? Okay, this is a big one that we hear all the time. I've had this conversation many times today already, just today. I mean, we've got tomorrow to go as well, so I'm imagining I'll be having this conversation more over time. Okay, so it builds learners' trust and industry credibility. So what I mean by that is that the learners that are taking part in the course should be able to think, right, that course has been validated by the CPD group or another CPD accreditation organisation. It should be credible. It should be valuable to me. It should make a difference for me. I should learn something here and I should be able to apply it to my day-to-day work. Okay, so it's about offering that credibility, which ultimately strengthens your marketing. Not because of the badge itself, but because of the robust nature of the actual assessment process behind the scenes. So those people that you're marketing to will be able to take as read, or should be able to take as read, but that course has been properly reviewed, it's been properly verified. So it's not just a training provider who's selling it to me that is telling me that it's wonderful. They've got a third-party independent organisation that is saying the same thing on their behalf. Okay, so it must go through a rigorous process and not just be the badge for marketing. It encourages continuous improvement and accountability. Okay, so this is about, making sure that the individual's taking part again. They're continuously improving what they're doing. The course itself is continuously improving. All right, so making sure that when we're doing the revalidation piece after 3 years, we're explaining to training providers, how can you improve this? Well, that piece of legislation, for example, is now out of date. It's been revised, all of this information. So we'll feed that back to people to make sure that those courses are improving on a continuous basis. We have a facility in our system as well for training providers to actively update their courses as and when they need to. We don't charge a fee for this, but we then re-review the course on their behalf to make sure that the information they provided us with is up to date, and they've had the course in the most up-to-date condition it can possibly be. Okay, so we encourage everybody to keep those courses up to date and continually improve and develop, but it also helps maintain the integrity of the CPD accreditation attached to it. It reduces the risk of non-compliance. Okay, so non-compliant training is extremely dangerous. All right, so we serve a few industries where the training that they are delivering must be up to date, or else you're operating outside of the law. Okay, and if you're operating outside of the law, you're at risk yourself as an organisation of providing really dangerous and outdated information, but the learners that you're sending that information to and imparting it to are then going out and putting that into practice, and none the wiser that it is completely out of date, and they are putting themselves at risk by doing so. Okay, this encourages learner engagement because they can be confident that the learner they're taking part in is what they need, and it is going to help them, and it is going to make them better and more professional. Gives you a competitive edge in a potentially crowded marketplace. So we find a lot of organisations are coming to us because of demand. People are demanding that they go and get CPD accreditation for the contracts that they want to actually tender. So they're coming to us and asking us to do a full review, making sure that the courses are the best they could possibly be, so they put themselves in prime position to gain the contracts that are out there and they can tender for them. The value, I like to say this to everybody to be quite honest, the value is as much in the process as it is in the result. Okay, so the process, you should accept the process for what it is. With organisations providing CPD accreditation should be there to support you, help you along your journey to get to the best point you can possibly be, to make your business the best it can possibly be. Okay, so it is really about embracing that process, taking part in the process, and really engaging with your assessor to make the courses as top-notch as possible. okay? Because that can only help you stand out in the marketplace, all right? Because it really can. The result is the logo, is the accreditation, and it's the kudos that comes with having CPD accreditation next to your company's name. So another statement here is when accreditation is done right, it doesn't just certify your course, it elevates your organization. So the future of CPD accreditation. So this is one we're seeing a lot. So accreditation has to evolve. We must adapt what we're doing to the changes in the landscape out there in the training world. With AI, e-learning, micro-learning, and personalization of courses. Lots of organizations are coming to us because they've been commissioned by large corporate organizations, for example, to come in and do a bespoke piece of training, particularly for their staff internally. Okay, so it has to be very personalized to that organization to make sure it is fit for purpose. AI is a big one that we're seeing. And I'll just put this little kind of warning out there to everybody, right? We are seeing an influx of courses that have been submitted to us where they have just basically been put into ChatGPT, can you write me a manual in X subject? And they are then printing it out and sending it to us without even reading it, okay? So it's even still got the brackets in there and saying you should be talking about this here, so they've literally not even looked at it to the point where they've deleted the bits that are like prompts from the actual AI tool. Okay, so it's just not training, it's bullet points. Do you know what I mean? The expertise comes from the organization, comes from the individual trainer. AI is a very, very useful tool if used properly, but it needs to be prompted properly, it needs to be talked to properly, it needs to learn from you before it can then be the valuable tool that you're looking for it to be. It is not a shortcut to just getting a course manual done really quickly, submit it for a badge of accreditation, great, I can go out and start selling this. It's really much, much more than that. It needs to be much, much more than that. So learners, companies, now we're finding that learners and companies are actually understanding CPD accreditation a lot more these days. They're starting to really to look at it and challenge it and trying to find out, is this, am I going to get value for my money here? All right, so they're starting to ask more questions. So they expect transparency. They want to know what this course has been measured against. Why is this the one I should buy over the one over there? They've both got accreditation badges, so why should I buy yours and not theirs? Okay, so if you're able to be transparent with your clients by saying, look, this is the process, and explain it very clearly. But again, that's down to you then to understand that process and to be able to challenge your CPD accreditation partner as to what their processes are. What are you going to do for me? What am I paying you for? What is the service? Okay, so it's really important that you understand it so you can be transparent with your clients. The credibility that it offers as well. Okay, it really is massive in this marketplace at the moment because again, a lot of our work is driven by the demand from the client. Again, I've said it before, people are coming to us because their customers are demanding that their courses are CPD accredited. So that is what they're going out to do. But again, sometimes they don't understand why they're doing it. They've just been told they need to do it, or that's it. But this is what I'm trying to explain. People need to understand and to talk to their accreditation company and find out what that process is. Okay, so the future of CPD belongs to those who embrace rigor and relevance. So courses that are well designed, evidence-based and meet clear educational standards. They're practical, they're up to date, and they are genuinely useful. Okay, so that is really, in a nutshell, what training courses should be and what CPD accreditation should be reviewing, making sure that all of those points are there and the courses are fit for purpose and they are useful. Okay, and if you're not being guided, if you're not being helped and supported along the way, speak to your accreditation company and ask them, what more can I do to make this even better? Because that's the service you're engaging them for, and that's what they should be there to support you with. Okay, so in the modern training landscape, accreditation shouldn't be a tick box. It should be a contract of trust. So I'm just going to wrap it up a little bit here, okay? So, CPD accreditation should stand for quality, accountability, and genuine professional growth. So we truly believe that. Okay, and that is the service that we provide, and the service that if anybody wishes to talk to us about is what we will engage you with. Okay, it's about making things better for you, helping you to develop and helping you and your company become the best you can be, making sure that your courses are the best they can be. And if they've got any advice to offer you, any guidance, we will be there to do that, and we will have members of staff on hand at all times for you to talk to, and all the way through that process. So training providers have the power to raise the standards, not just for yourselves, but for the learners in the industries that you're serving with your courses as well. Okay, so training providers are in a very powerful position. They are training the next workforce. They are keeping people up to date in specific industries. So it's really important that those courses that they are delivering are spot on, and they are meeting the needs of all the industries they serve and all the individual clients that they're serving as well. So the one thing I'll leave you with is just ask yourself, if you are CPD accredited or you're looking to gain CPD accreditation, does your accreditation or will your accreditation prove your quality or just your payment? Okay? It's really important that you're not just paying and paying and paying, annually recycling, getting an invoice, getting a new logo, or not even a new logo, just using the same one over and over and over for years. It defeats the object of the process. Keeping up to date is extremely important. And what can you do today to make your CPD offering more credible, more meaningful, and more measurable? So if you have any queries, if you have any questions, or you just want to have a quick chat about CPD in general, please do come over and we're happy to talk to you. All right, thanks very much.